In this video we will discuss about fore bearing and back bearing. Okay, so what is fore bearing? Fore bearing is nothing but the bearing taken in the direction of survey. Okay, and if you take the bearing in opposite direction of survey, then it is called back bearing. Okay, suppose if AB is the survey line, then this theta F is called fore bearing of AB. Okay, from north I have taken, so the theta F is nothing but fore bearing of AB. So theta F I have taken as fore bearing. And coming to B, so here this theta B is called, this is also I have calculated from north, so this angle is called theta B. So back bearing theta B for AB. Okay, so how will we get this theta B? So it is nothing but equal to 180 plus theta F. Okay, so 180 plus fore bearing of AB. Okay, so there is general notation, back bearing equal to fore bearing plus or minus 180 degrees. Okay, so if fore bearing is less than 180, okay, which means suppose if fore bearing is 60 degrees, then your back bearing will be 60 degrees plus 180 degrees. Okay, if your fore bearing is greater than 180 degrees, suppose if fore bearing is 220 degrees, then back bearing will be 220 degrees minus 180 degrees. Okay, so we will solve a numerical. So we are given a fore bearing of AB as 45 degrees 24 minutes, and we have to find back bearing of AB. Okay, so this back bearing of AB becomes 45 degrees 24 seconds plus 180 degrees. Why? Because fore bearing is less than 180 degrees, so then back bearing is fore bearing plus 180 degrees. Okay, so this comes 225 degrees 24 minutes. Okay, here I have taken the fore bearing of AB in a diagram. So we'll consider this from north because the given angle is in whole circle bearing. Okay, so this fore bearing of AB theta F, and coming to back bearing, that becomes, so I have taken like this, north south, so this is the back bearing. Okay, so this is 180 plus this 45 degrees plus 24 minutes. Okay, so totally I obtained as 225 degrees 24 minutes. Okay, so fore bearing also calculated from north and back bearing also calculated from north because the given angles are in whole circle bearing. Okay, in whole circle bearing we will calculate the bearings from north. Okay, we will solve another numerical. The fore bearing of BC is given as 130 degrees and we have to find back bearing of BC. Okay, so this is equal to fore bearing plus 180 because fore bearing is less than 180, so that comes 130 degrees plus 180 degrees, so 310 degrees. Okay, so if we take this and represent in picture, so this comes, so north south. Okay, so fore bearing is 130 degrees, that comes somewhere here. So this is 130 degrees. Okay, so B and this is C. North, south. Okay, so now back bearing is this one. Okay, so that is 180 plus this 130. Okay, 310 degrees. Okay, so this 180 plus this 130. Okay, from north the back bearing is calculated. So this is in case of fore bearing given as 130 degrees. This back bearing is fore bearing minus 180 degrees. Why? Because fore bearing is greater than 180. So this becomes 240 degrees minus 180 comes to 60 degrees. Okay, so if you consider this diagrammatically, so north, south, and 240 degrees will be somewhere here. So this is the fore bearing of C, CD. Okay, north, south. So remember one thing, so how much angle it makes with north, that much angle it makes with south also. Okay, so bearing is this one, theta B. Okay, remember, so we'll calculate back bearing from north direction. So this is theta B. Okay, so how we'll get this theta B? This entire angle minus 180. Okay, so 240 minus 180, so that comes 60 degrees. Okay, this angle from north will be equal to this angle. Okay, but you will calculate the fore bearing from north and back bearing as well from north only. Okay, if there is confusion, I am repeating again. So this 210 degrees from north will be equal to 210 degrees from south. Okay, but the back bearing angle you take will be from north only. That means this theta B only will be the back bearing. Okay, this angle from north will be equal to this angle in south. Okay, but the back bearing angle we take is from north. Okay, so this is your theta B. Okay, okay, now fore bearing of DE is given as 330 degrees. We have to find back bearing. Okay, so this back bearing will be equal to fore bearing minus 180 degrees. So 330 degrees minus 180, that comes 150 degrees. Okay, if we consider diagrammatically, consider like this, north, south, and this point is D, and this angle is theta F. Okay, so fore bearing angle. Okay, coming to here, north, south, this is your E. This angle from north will be equal to this angle from south. Okay, from south, which means this is 330 degrees and from south this angle also will be 330 degrees. But coming to back bearing, that will be calculated from north. So this is my theta B. Okay, so how will I get this? This 330 minus 180. Okay, so this is different cases of fore bearing and back bearing calculation. In this numericals we have considered whole bearing circle angles, but if you are given fore bearing in terms of quadrantal bearing angles like north 60 degrees west, so given fore bearing is in the form of quadrantal bearing. So what will be the back bearing? So the angle remains same. You have to change north to south and west to east. Okay, so the back bearing of quadrantal bearing is calculation is very easy. Okay, so just we have to change north to south and west to east and vice versa, south to north and east to west. Okay, so the angle remains same. Thank you.